This is a slide rule. That's right, it's a slide rule. And this isn't just any slide rule, this is my slide rule. This is the actual slide rule I was required to buy as an incoming freshman at the University of Nebraska in 1971. I will now pause while you calculate my age. Right? I often take my slide rule to class, and I love to show the students the powerful calculations this simple device will perform. And they're always amazed. Invariably, one of the students will raise their hand and say, "Why? Why did the University of Nebraska force you to buy something like that?" The answer? Hand calculators hadn't been invented yet. The look on their face is priceless. You know, their eyes get big and the jaw drops open a little bit, and you can actually see them think, "Wow, this guy's older than dirt." Well, I'm not older than dirt, as you've already calculated. The first scientific handheld calculator actually came out the next year. Hewlett-Packard produced the iconic HP 35, which was introduced in 1972 for the princely sum of $395. That's over $2,000 in today's money. Well, I couldn't afford that. But the next year, Rockwell came out with a calculator that pretty much did the same thing at less than half the cost. That I could afford. I bought one, and it changed my life as an engineering student. For the first time, I could try different paths towards the same solution. It took the amount of time it took me to do my homework and my assignments and cut it in half. It literally transformed my life. But I had to put this down, right? So, yay members, I know you're out there. Yay members, pick up your phone. Pick up your cell phone. Those of you that haven't already picked it up. Now I want you to look at that technology and consider this. That cell phone you're looking at, that you're so tethered to and that you're so reliant upon, when you reach my age, that will be your slide rule. That's a true statement. You are looking at your slide rule. Everyone in this room has their own slide rule. Everyone has had to face the challenges of adapting to new technology. That's one of the things that ties us all together. And through that, we have learned that it's through the power of adapting that lives and organizations and communities are transformed. Our ability to shape tomorrow is born out of our willingness to adapt today. And that's the driving force behind our theme for the coming year, Adapt Today to Shape Tomorrow. So how are we going to do that? How are we going to shape tomorrow? Together, we're going to address three broad directives. First one, we are going to adapt ASHRAE resources to create the visionaries of tomorrow. This has three initiatives associated with it. Initiative number one, we're going to develop and launch an ASHRAE University educational platform. This is where we're going to bring all of our world-class educational products together on one platform, so you've got one place to go to find the educational materials you need, whether it be a webinar or e-learning or ASHRAE Learning Institute, whatever. And on top of that, we are going to develop a dashboard so that you can track your performance towards some goal. It may be ASHRAE certification. It may be a goal outside of ASHRAE. It may be a goal within your firm to show your employer your progress towards a professional goal. This initiative has been given to Pub Ed Council. The work is underway. You will have access to this platform before the end of the year. Initiative number 2, we're going to implement new courses, new endorsements, new certificates, maybe even the new ASHRAE MBA. And the first course out of the box is going to be a Consulting Engineers Essentials course. We're going to model this after our very successful HVAC Essentials course. This is going to give people who wish to enter that discipline within our industry the skills they need to be successful as consulting engineers. This has been assigned to the Professional Development Committee. This work is underway. By the first of the year, you'll be able to see a listing of all the course content. You'll be able to sign up for the first course by June of 2017. Initiative number 3, we are going to implement and launch an ASHRAE internship program. This is going to be an online internship program that's going to link our student branches with our employers to create a win-win environment for both. Research shows that 95% of all employers are looking for real-world experience. Well, how does a student get that? It'll be through this internship program. On top of that, this is one of the ways we're going to use to attract young men and women into our industry. Research also shows that 68% of the time, an employer will offer an intern a full-time position. And 85% of the time, that offer is accepted. Employers, how'd you like to be in an environment where your job offer is accepted 85% of the time? That's a win-win environment. That's how we're going to create this environment where we create the visionaries of tomorrow. I'm a big fan of internships because I came out of an internship of sorts. As Blake mentioned, I came up through the ranks in our family plumbing and heating company in Lincoln, Nebraska. And I vividly recall the first day at work at Wentz Plumbing and Heating. Walked into my dad's office, brand new engineering degree underneath my arm. And this is a picture of my dad, by the way. My dad is 91 years old. 91, and he is still conducting research in indoor air quality. So I said, Dad, what do you want me to do first? What's my first job? He didn't hesitate. He said, first thing you're going to do is you're going to join the Nebraska chapter of ASHRAE. Okay. 2 questions, Dad. 1, what is ASHRAE? Number 2, why would I join? Now, it's that second question that we struggle with, right? We know the passion we have for this society, but sometimes we have trouble expressing it. My dad's answer, I think, was right on target. He said, look it, you go to an ASHRAE meeting, you walk in that room, and in that room you will find the consulting engineers we work for. You will find the building owners we serve. You will find the vendors we buy from, and you will find our competitors. You need to be in that room. You need to be in that room. So, how do we create a future for our society where you need to be in the room? That takes us to our second broad directive. We are going to adapt ASHRAE investments to energize chapters and engage our members. This also has 3 initiatives. First initiative, we're going to create a chapter opportunity fund. Sum of money, and it has been approved. Money is there. We are going to distribute it to our 14 regions worldwide. We're going to ask the regions then to distribute it to the chapters based on proposals that they will receive on new, innovative ways of energizing the chapters and engaging the members. And this is coming from our chapters. This is not top-down. This is from the grassroots. As I said before, this has already been implemented. That money is available July 1st. This is good to go. Initiative number 2. We are going to create a leadership academy. Here we're going to bring all the rising stars from our chapters worldwide, and we're going to put them in a room together where they can network, where they can share best practices. Also in the room will be men and women from our society that have proven the ability to lead people, lead organizations, help those young rising stars hone their leadership skills. This has been assigned to Members Council. This work is underway. The first Leadership Academy in our society will be available in the spring of 2017. Third initiative, we are going to adapt ASHRAE's Building EQ program for use by our student branches. This is going to do 2 things for us. It is going to give the skill sets our student branch members need to do building benchmarking, do building disclosure, do an ASHRAE Level 1 energy audit. These are the skill sets they need to be successful in our industry. At the same time, we're going to ask the student branch members to target buildings that give back to the community. Okay? It could be a building on their campus. It could be a food bank. It could be a homeless shelter. Anything that gives back so that they can demonstrate to these building owners the power of the ASHRAE Building EQ program and how it can save you money on energy costs. And these building owners then can use that extra money to discharge their mission, thereby making our communities stronger. That's win-win. Now, I should note that we have already run this course. It's an online course. We've run it once on a pilot program very successfully, as you can see by the SIBC Shortlist Award that we received. I also want to note that we did the indoor environmental quality module for this course was done by our partners at IAQA. So this was a joint effort between both organizations. This initiative has been assigned to a presidential ad hoc committee that's already been formed. They're already at work. This course will be available to student branches worldwide by January of 2017. So that's how we're going to create a future where you have to be in the room. And some of these initiatives, quite frankly, are new. These are things we have not done before. And that can be really scary sometimes, right? It be a little frightening when you've never done something before because you just don't know how far you're going to fall. I had that lesson taught to me as a young man on a construction site, one of my first construction sites. I worked my way up through at the family business. My first job in high school was as an apprentice pipe cover. Okay, that's what I did. I remember my first foreman came up to me and he said, "Wentz, you've got 2 major flaws." I think he said at least 2 major flaws. Number 1, you're an apprentice. Number 2, you're the boss's son. Well, he soon found out that I had a 3rd flaw. I really don't like heights. Don't like them at all. This stage is about as high as I want to be. And so you know how this turns out from that point forward. Every job on that project site that required a ladder or scaffold had my name on it. One day the foreman runs up to me and he says, "Wentz, over there is built-up air handling unit, and on top of that, there's some piping that needs your attention. Climb up there and get that taken care of because the journeymen are on their way. Well, he was pointing at a really big built-up air handling unit. That thing was like 10 foot or 3 meters high, and it had this 6-foot ladder leaned up against it. And so I said, what's the deal with that? How am I going to get up on that with that little ladder? And he said, oh, Wentz, stop whining. It's not actually what he said. I'm sanitizing what he really said to me. He said, Wentz, stop whining. There's a conduit that runs up on top of that thing. You just get to the top of the ladder, grab the conduit, pull yourself up, and get to work. Now stop wasting time. I said, now wait a second here. I can get up, but how am I going to get down? I won't be able to see where I'm going. And he said, oh, Wentz, stop being such a baby. All you have to do is turn yourself around, grab that conduit. I'll be there for you. I'll be right there for you by the ladder, and I'll guide your feet to the top. Now stop horsing around and get to work. So up I went, got my work done, came back to the edge, and I looked down to make sure my ladder and my foreman were right there. And I said, okay, here I come. So I turned around and started to back myself down. Just as soon as I got past the point of no return, out of the corner of my eye, I see one of the journeymen walking off with my ladder. And so I yelled at him, that's my ladder. Come back with my ladder. I'm sanitizing what I said, too. And he just waved and walked on. And so now I'm screaming at my foreman. I'm saying, this guy, he took my ladder. What am I going to do? And the foreman said, oh, Wentz, stop being so dramatic. It's not that far to the ground. And besides, I've moved most of the pipe and fittings away. Oh, and Wentz, when you hit the floor, it'd be a good idea if you kind of flexed your knees and rolled a little bit. That last piece of advice was not helpful. So what could I do? I mean, I hung there. And I hung there as long as I could. I wasn't going to let go. And of course, eventually I hung there as long as I could, and I fell. About 1 inch onto another ladder the foreman had cleverly put underneath me. Oh yeah, crew loved that. Boy, they laughed about that for weeks, if not months. But aren't we all like that? Don't we all want to hang on to things that are safe and comfortable as long as we can? Really? So, how do we create a future for our society where it's okay to let go and adapt? This takes us to our third broad directive. We are going to adapt ASHRAE technology to provide immediate direct benefit to our members. This also has 3 initiatives. Initiative number 1, we are going to design and implement a technology portal to link our members with this vast amount of technical content, cutting-edge content that we produce here at ASHRAE. Did you know that this society, since 1959, has invested over $150 million in today's money in ASHRAE research? $150 million. And that, by the way, is due to your efforts. That's an amazing amount. But how do you then access the fruits of all of that research? How do you get to the papers, the transactions, the journal articles, et cetera, et cetera? You're going to do that through this technology portal. We'll make sure that you have access to the most cutting-edge, up-to-date information possible. This initiative has been assigned to the Electronic Communication Committee. The work is underway. You will be able to access this new portal by the end of the year. Initiative number 2, we are going to create application guides written specifically for practicing professionals. These are not going to be these great big thick tomes. These are not going to be written in code language or standards language. These are going to be written in the language of the practicing professional by practicing professionals. This has been assigned to the Publications Committee. By the first of the year, you're going to be able to see a listing of all of the guides that we're going to put together and the content of those guides. And by June of 2017, you'll be able to buy your first application guide. Initiative number 3, we are going to expand, and I must say greatly expand, our app portfolio. This is the way we're going to put ASHRAE standards, ASHRAE user guides, handbook content right at your fingertips, right at your place of work, so that you are as effective, as efficient, and as productive as we can possibly make you. So this is how we're going to create a future for our society where it's okay to let go. So what can you do? How can you make a difference? Well, there's a lot of things you can do. Hire an intern. Get more involved in your chapters. Volunteer for some of these initiatives. Make a commitment to apply ASHRAE technology to your community. We can do this. We can do this. But it means that we're going to have to unlock the power of adapting. Just like I did those many years ago when I had to set down this slide rule. This was an important part of my life in 1971, but I realized the greater risk was in not putting that down and picking up that newfangled hand calculator. That was true for me as an individual. It's true for us as a society as well. The greatest risk we face is our resistance to change. That's why we must adapt today to shape tomorrow. Thank you.